All right. Hi, everybody. This is Rebecca Heineman again. I'm the creative director at CraftWell, and I've challenged myself to do 10 videos, and for the company CraftWell. And it's been a little harder than I thought it would be. It's really hard to find the time to do it, but here is the next one in my series. And what I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to start with my process, with my creative process, and share it with everybody out there and what we do here at Craftwell. You know, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and it's interesting. Over the years, I've just picked up so many different tools and worked with so many different agencies, and I've come to realize that, every agency has these fancy names for their different creative, for their creative process. But what I've come to realize is that really there's one process we should all be going through, and I'm going to share mine with you today. And basically, at Craftwell, though, I just wanted to say too that the best brands make emotional connections, and that's what we try and do here at Craftwell, is make that emotional connection. And so to do that, what we do is we have a process, and today I'm going to go over that overall process, and then with each successive video I'm going to dive deeper into what happens within that process. So the overall process, I like to call it the 4Ds. And this is something that I put together when I was working at an in-house studio for one of the large health insurance companies, and I was the creative director there. I put together the 4Ds for the team to really help define the process that everyone would go through, because they were order takers for quite a while there, just taking in projects and just trying to churn them out. But I took a step back. We created this process called the 4Ds. The first step is to discover, and you want to discover what your project is about. Why are we doing this? What are the objectives and goals? And I'm not going to go too deep into that, but we'll get into that later. The second step that I wanted to define for them is called define. So once you bring in all of that information, when you've got your comparative analysis done and your brand research and maybe your marketing research, so you've got all this information, now what you're going to do is you're going to create a creative brief, and you're going to define what it is that you're going to do. Maybe you're going to call it your strategy. You're going to make a plan. You're going to have a strategy for your product or service that you're trying to sell. And once you do that defining, you've created that creative brief, which is not an easy task to do. You want to get clarity on your product or service that you're trying to sell. And that's what CraftWell is going to help you do, is give you that clarity, help you define what it is you're trying to do. What are your, we've asked you, what are your business goals? We've asked you, what do you think your customers want? And we also are going to ask you, what are your competitors doing? So now we take all of that information to help create a creative brief and figure out what the deliverables are, map it all out, make a plan. Once we know what the plan is and we have all that information, we're going to develop. And that's basically the fun part for us here at CraftWell. Well, it's all fun for us, but we're going to develop, and that means we're going to write. We're going to do some copywriting, maybe we're going to do some concepting, we're going to do different concepts for your campaign, or maybe we're just diving right into design because you already have a concept, or your brand is somewhat already is developed, so now we're just going to design for it. So this is really the development phase. Maybe we're putting together the website. And then once we get through all of that development, then there's the final stage, which we call deliver. And that's where we do some measurements and analytics and kind of see how your product or service is being received, and we take those learnings and then maybe we do some refinements. So again, I'm going to go through the 4 high levels of the process. There's discover, define, develop, and deliver. Those are the 4 steps we're going to go through, and I'm going to get into each one of those a little bit deeper in each successive video that you see. And what I'm also going to do is, at some point, I'm going to put up these documents on CraftWell or my CraftWell Facebook site so that you can actually see in depth the documents that I use when I'm working with my clients. All right, great. Thanks for joining me today. I look forward to doing some more videos and giving you more info.